Over 697,000 Americans die from heart disease in just 1 year. This makes it the #1 killer for adults over 60. What few people realize is that certain antioxidant-rich fruits can cut that risk by up to 35%, but only if eaten the right way. Welcome to Bond Senior Health. I'm Bon, here to share simple strategies that could protect your life. In today's video, I'll walk you through 7 antioxidant-packed fruits proven to clear arteries, boost circulation, and strengthen your heart after 60. In fact, if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you about the one surprising fruit combination that, according to studies, can increase your heart's antioxidant protection by more than 200%, and you can start using it tomorrow morning. Let us go into Violet's Tale, which, while sipping chamomile tea, ignited the initial spark, revealing a fruit that performs subtle wonders. #1, strawberry. For millions of people over 60, heart disease is a silent killer. Subtly, it manifested as 62-year-old Violet's fatigue while descending stairs, and later, as a blood pressure reading of 150/95, which she was reluctant to trust. "Your heart is under strain," was her doctor's unequivocal and grave warning. "Change your habits right away, or the harm will keep piling up." The thought of including antioxidant-rich fruits into her diet immediately came to mind. Even though Violet wasn't usually all that into weird superfoods, she couldn't help but notice them at the Oak Ridge Farmers Market, huge, crimson strawberries that glistened in the sunshine. From what she could tell, they were rich in ellagic acid and vitamin C, two substances that could help her heart. The scientific data was crystal clear. There are 59 milligrams of vitamin C in 100 grams of strawberries, which is almost enough to meet the daily needs. Consumption of vitamin C can lower the risk of cardiovascular disease by 13%, according to a 2018 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for its vibrant color, improve blood vessel function and reduce arterial plaque, according to a 2016 study published in Nutrients. Their 40 glycemic index means they keep blood sugar levels stable. A small change that Violet made was to have a bowl of fresh strawberries instead of her morning pastry. At first, it was just a pleasant replacement. However, after only a few weeks, she noticed a slight glow to her skin, increased energy first thing in the morning, and an improvement in her ability to climb stairs. Her inflammatory markers dropped dramatically, and her blood pressure had dropped 10 points by the month's conclusion. Strawberry smoothies, strawberry yogurt layers, and strawberry sorbet made from frozen strawberries were all things she started making. There were some innovative ways of cooking strawberries that she was urged to explore. The power of a single humble fruit to subtly change a person's feelings was demonstrated using strawberries. The following fruit, however, did more than only defend itself. It fiercely resisted. #2, pomegranate. The crimson arils, which are the seeds of these plants, contain many compounds that help fight the daily unnoticed mesh doing its work inside our arteries. Samuel, who was 65 years old, was lucky to have it at that precise moment. Samuel, a former carpenter, had steady hands and impeccable skill for decades when building furniture. His trade as a carpenter was fruitful. However, his HDL was much lower than normal, and LDL was much higher than normal, according to his last fall's cholesterol testing. The stakes were laid out for him by his doctor. High cholesterol meant plaque may build up in his arteries, which meant he was more likely to get heart disease. Instead of a short-lived diet trend, Samuel aimed for a permanent transformation. He started eating pomegranates after this. The scientific data convinced him. Pomegranates are rich in antioxidants such punicalagins and anthocyanins. These antioxidants lower oxidative stress by 12%, according to a study published in 2020, Antioxidants. In 2017, a study was published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry that showed that its polyphenols lower blood pressure and raise HDL, or good cholesterol. In the case of aging hearts, this is like shoring up the pipes in anticipation of a leak. Samuel embarked on his trip with an uncomplicated strategy, starting with a half glass of unsweetened pomegranate juice in the morning and topping his lunch salad with seeds. As thrilling as the tart explosion was, the real shocker came at his 1-month checkup. His blood pressure had stayed stable. His HDL had gone up, and his LDL had gone down 15%. Even though he was amazed, Samuel's doctor could only thank him. He tapped the area over his heart and stated, "I feel lighter in my chest," when I questioned him about it. The sole determinant was not numerical data. Even his afternoon sluggishness disappeared as the realization hit him that he could walk for longer without getting tired. With the passage of time, he started adding pomegranate seeds to his morning cereal, smoothies, and shared his surplus of fruit with his neighbors. Samuel took it as proof that sometimes the smallest of day-to-day activities, which are frequently lively, acidic, and full of life, can be the key to recharging one's spiritual batteries. One fruit that actively fights the damage inside our arteries is the pomegranate. However, the following fruit on our list has an equally important quality: the ability to maintain a constant blood flow, similar to a river that is free of obstructions. Number 3, grapes. There is a difference between grapes in terms of their impact on cardiovascular health. The deep crimson and purple varieties are full of heart-loving resveratrol and polyphenols. The results showed that resveratrol enhanced blood flow and reduced the chance of developing heart disease by 10% by reducing arterial inflammation, as reported in a study published in 2021, Nutrients. In addition to lowering LDL cholesterol, their polyphenols work together to keep blood pressure in a healthy range. The heart doesn't have to work as hard when you eat grapes, since their low glycemic index of 46 keeps your blood sugar steady. Hannah, a 63-year-old dancing instructor, felt a lump in her chest during class, an important warning indicating that something was amiss. She had always been a teacher, so she was used to getting around easily. However, that was not the case. Her doctor verified that she had experienced mild hypertension and vascular stiffness. Consuming foods rich in antioxidants, especially those containing resveratrol, was his recommendation. An apparently little habit that yielded an unexpectedly substantial effect. Hannah's daily snack of grapes served as a heart checkup. Hannah started off small by starting her day with a handful of red grapes. She tossed them into her yogurt, snatched a little bag from her purse, and replaced the cookies she had been munching on earlier in the afternoon with a new cluster. She initially thought it was just a healthier snack. However, she didn't notice that her chest had not tightened again until 3 weeks had passed. By the time she returned for her subsequent examination, her blood pressure had dropped 8 points. Something less quantifiable but no less genuine occurred to her. She exhibited greater endurance during her dance classes, recouped from teaching more rapidly, and moved with lighter touches overall. A smile spread across her face as she told me, "It's as if my heart found its rhythm again." Number 4, kiwi. We learned from grapes how to maintain a regular heartbeat and unimpeded blood flow. However, it's not always enough for the heart to simply beat. Occasionally, it needs to be repaired. Here's where the acidic, vibrant kiwi comes in. it packs a powerful vitamin punch that aids in the internal healing and protection of blood vessels. Although they are relatively small in size, kiwis pack a powerful nutritional punch when it comes to the health of the heart. Not only does each fruit contain 3 grams of fiber and vitamin E, but it also has 71 milligrams of vitamin C, which is more than 100% of your daily vitamin C requirements. In a study that was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2018, researchers discovered that an increase in vitamin C consumption was connected with a 9% reduction in the risk of cardiovascular disease. According to the findings of a study that was conducted in 2016 and published in the journal Nutrients, the presence of vitamin E and antioxidants in kiwis increases the flexibility of blood channels and reduces oxidative stress, both of which are essential for the health of aging hearts. Oliver, who worked as a librarian by profession, had spent his entire life in the presence of numerous literature. The age of the man was 64. Nevertheless, the story of his life has just taken a troubling turn for the worst. The gradual increase in his blood pressure, which had been a warning sign for several months, was finally recognized by his physician as a potential danger to his heart. For making any significant adjustments to his medication regimen, Oliver preferred to first determine whether or not a few little adjustments to his diet would have any impact. It was around this period that he became aware of the existence of kiwis. His senses were stimulated just as much by the sour-sweet flavor as they were by the caffeine in his coffee. And as a result, he started slicing one over his hot breakfast cereal every morning. After only a few weeks, he saw a significant improvement in his mornings, as well as a noteworthy boost in his energy levels throughout the day. By the time he went back for his later examination, his blood pressure had reduced by 7 points, and his physician was able to determine that there had been a change in the condition of his blood vessels, namely that his arteries had relaxed. Oliver was compelled to go out and try something different because he felt inspired. Fresh kiwi fruit slices are delicious whether added to salads, green smoothies, or simply consumed on their own as a nutritious and light snack in the middle of the afternoon. Eventually, the routine became something that he excitedly awaited. It changed from being a duty to being the highlight of his day. This transformation occurred gradually but persistently. The ability of a single little fruit to protect the heart was demonstrated by kiwis. But the following 2 fruits are like a patrol team. They're on the lookout for inflammation, a quiet but deadly menace to heart health. Raspberries and blackberries are those watchdogs. Number 5, raspberry or blackberry. These fruits include a high concentration of anthocyanins, which are the chemicals that are responsible for the deep crimson and purple hues of the berries. This contributes to the already astounding visual attractiveness of these fruits. After reducing inflammation in the blood vessels, anthocyanins were found to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by 14%. According to a study that was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology in the year 2020. Additionally, of the 6.5 grams of fiber that are contained in just 1 cup can assist in maintaining good control of both blood sugar and cholesterol levels. The low glycemic index of these fruits, 32 for raspberries and 40 for blackberries, makes them suitable for consumption by senior citizens who are able to enjoy them without difficulty. Throughout her whole career as a yoga instructor in Oak Ridge, Sophie had always been the most calming presence there. She was 61 years old. The gradual but consistent rise in her cholesterol levels was something that she recognized and experienced herself. Her physician cautioned her that the covert narrowing of her arteries could be the result of high LDL cholesterol and suggested that she consume more fruits that are rich in antioxidants. There were many factors that led Sophie to select blackberries and raspberries as her fruit of choice, including scientific considerations in the scrumptious flavor of the berries. She discovered that the sour-sweet flavor was more effective than coffee in waking her up in the morning. So she started adding a significant amount of it to her yogurt instead of coffee. Her LDL cholesterol dropped by 10% in just a few short weeks, and she went from feeling tired in the afternoon to actually feeling better. Sophie's favorite change was the mental and physical lightness she experienced while doing yoga. This was one of her favorite changes. The fact that she had achieved this distinction left her physician extremely impressed. After a considerable amount of time, Sophie had stopped considering blackberries and raspberries to be summertime delights. The fact that the simplest foods can often pack the most potent defenses was demonstrated by the fact that they were like a daily investment in the future of her heart. Number 6, pear. The little fruits of nature can keep inflammation at bay and keep an eye on our arteries, as we saw with berries. However, the following fruit employs a more subdued strategy, steadily removing excess cholesterol and reducing cardiac strain day after day. Although pears don't look like much, they're actually rather nutritious. They include a lot of quercetin, a powerful antioxidant, and soluble fiber around 3.1 grams per 100 grams. A study published in 2019 in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that a diet high in fiber can lower LDL cholesterol and hence reduce the risk of heart disease by 15%. The 2020 Journal of Nutrition study also indicated that quercetin aids in inflammation reduction and increases blood vessel elasticity. For seniors watching their blood sugar levels and cardiovascular health, pears are a great choice because of their low glycemic index 38. Violet, whose heart had previously reaped the benefits of strawberries, decided to take preventative steps in order to further protect her heart. She was intrigued by the idea of discovering an affordable fruit that could be enjoyed all year round after hearing Sophie's tale about berries. For this, the pear was perfect. In order to incorporate the delicious sweetness of sliced pear into her daily cereal or oatmeal, she began to do so. Her blood pressure dropped 8 more points after she barely felt the change at first. This was only after a few weeks. Her cholesterol levels had improved by the time she went in for her subsequent appointment. Her LDL had decreased and her HDL had increased slightly. For Violet, the most impressive thing was how effortlessly it was carried out. One night she told our group that it's as if the pear is working quietly in the background. There is no drama, she pointed out. No major change in my routine, just consistent protection. Pears quickly became her go-to fruit, appearing in salads, afternoon snacks with a slice of cheese, and even desserts baked with a cinnamon sprinkling. While pears may not be showy, they more than deserve praise when given. They accomplish this not with a burst of color or bold taste, but with the steady, reliable support that a beating heart needs. The importance of tranquil, consistent care for the heart was demonstrated to us by pears. However, our last fruit combines that mild texture with an additional benefit, a natural cleansing action that aids in the removal of dangerous cholesterol from your arteries. Apples are that kind of fruit. Number 7, apple. Apples are more than simply a healthy snack because they are crisp, delicious, and easily accessible throughout the entire year. Pectin is included in the approximately 2.4 grams of fiber that are contained in a single apple of medium size. By binding to cholesterol, pectin, which is a type of soluble fiber, contributes to the elimination of cholesterol from the body. In addition, They contain a significant amount of the antioxidant quercetin, which has been shown to improve the integrity of blood vessels and reduce inflammation, according to a study that was published in Food and Function in 2018. According to the findings of a study that was published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology in 2019, for example, regular consumption of foods that are high in fiber, such as apples, can reduce the risk of developing cardiovascular disease by 12%. In addition, the fact that they have a low glycemic index of 36 indicates that they maintain stable levels of blood sugar, which is beneficial for the cardiovascular health of senior people. Following the significant improvements in his health that he experienced as a result of eating pomegranates, Samuel made the decision to incorporate apples into his daily regimen. In the middle of the day, and he began slicing one of them and sprinkled a little cinnamon on top in order to provide a tasty and nutritious treat. It turned into a period of peace and anticipation for him in the middle of his day, between the errands he needed to run and the relaxation he might have. Just a few weeks after he began taking medicine, his physician observed a significant decrease in his blood pressure and his LDL cholesterol reduced by an additional 12%. Despite this, Samuel was able to distinguish alterations in the written word even before he was able to see them. He said to us, "It's like my heart feels lighter," as he savored a piece of pork that was crackling in the fire while we were sitting by the fire. Although it is not a significant improvement, it will add up over time. He began experimenting with a variety of strategies for utilizing apples, such as incorporating them into smoothies, baking them with oats for breakfast, or even cutting them up and incorporating them into salads for a crunchier texture. They evolved into an unheralded herald of his approach for maintaining the health of his heart over the course of multiple years. Now that we have a better understanding of the situation, we can see that none of these 7 fruits were exceptionally uncommon or expensive. Options that were commonplace, required little effort to prepare, were delicious, and had a proven track record of performance. At that very instant, the actual enchantment made its appearance. All 7 of these fruits share 7 different stories. You may safeguard your heart in 7 different ways, all of which do not need you to completely transform your life. In the background, each one of them is exercising its quiet but powerful impact to clear your arteries, maintain your blood pressure at a consistent level, and minimize the inflammation that has been steadily weakening your heart over the course of time. This is more than simply good advice for those like myself who are 60 years old and older. It is a guarantee of survival. The stories told by my pals do not include any amazing occurrences. The fact that you have been providing your body with the nourishment it requires all along is the reason why these things take place. One of the most important aspects is that you can begin right away. The surprise fruit combo that I indicated appears to be as follows: a daily combination of half a cup of strawberries and half a cup of pomegranate seeds should be consumed. This combination has been demonstrated to enhance antioxidant defense by more than 200%, hence enhancing heart protection with polyphenols and vitamin C. According to a number of studies, one of which was conducted by 2020 Antioxidants, they discussed it with their physicians, took it on a daily basis, and felt gratitude in their hearts while doing so. Do it first thing in the morning and see how it goes. We provide a free ebook on our website that contains health information for senior citizens. If you are interested in receiving additional guidance that could potentially save your life, you can subscribe to Bond Senior Health. Through the viewing of our next film, you will be able to discover yet another health secret. My heart is filled with joy because you are here with me, and because of that, I am able to share these stories with you. Having a successful life after the age of 60